What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with a deep dive that has been presaged, but which is only just beginning. It's overdue, and yet it's also relevant to the present. Allow me to explain as Luca comes and takes her rightful place on the throne, or maybe on my lap, I guess we'll see. But yes, we're going to listen to some Teenage Head, and that's not the cover album by the Vapids, but the actual band Teenage Head. Thank you to Yvonne not only for providing this music, but for being very patient with a lot of the things she shared, like a number of folks on the channel who sent me music. But yeah, she sent me some original Teenage Head material back in 2023, and my plan was to get through the Vapids and then react to it, so it is in one way overdue, but it also relates to the recent Four Nations Cup, a hockey tournament featuring NHL players during a bit of a hiatus from the NHL schedule, and when it got time to contest the final, it was the US versus Canada, and we had a friendly wager that if Canada won, she would be able to have a deep dive start from the material she sent, and so I've decided to go with Teenage Head. And yes, I'm familiar with some of their songs through the cover album by the Vapids, but she sent two proper albums, their second and third album, Frantic City, and then Some Kind of Fun, I think, is the name of the third one. But also they had a self-titled album from 1979, and Yvonne only had a couple tracks from that, so I have those tracks, but I figure we'll go through the two full albums first. So we'll do the second one first, which is 1980, and that's Frantic City, and it opens with Wild One, which I understand, given the info Yvonne gave me, that this is a Johnny Horton cover. I only know the name Johnny Horton vaguely. I think he's like a country musician, but I looked online on Discogs, and apparently he's seen as a pioneer in the world of rockabilly, which there are some punk bands that have a rockabilly style, so that's a subgenre I am familiar with. But I also looked up Teenage Head on Discogs, and it shows them as being a punk band. They're referred to as a punk band, but that they also were into old-time rock and roll and alternative rock, and so it seems they had some different flavors, which makes me wonder whether there'll be a progression from the earliest stuff into a more punk style, or whether on each of their albums they're using or utilizing a number of different subgenres of rock music. So either way, given the source of this one, I'm expecting this to be a bit more throwback rock and roll, like a late 50s, early 60s rock and roll tune. And I can hear the phrase, like, I'm a wild one, so I think maybe I've heard the Johnny Horton original, maybe I've heard a different cover. I suppose it's possible I've heard this cover, but before I started reacting to the Vapids, I had never heard a Teenage Head, so if I did hear it before, I wouldn't have known it to be a Teenage Head cover. So nevertheless, let's give it a listen. To think about the title, I suppose, and knowing that it's a Johnny Horton cover, I would expect it to maybe be in that old-time rock and roll lyrical range, which is to say the idea of someone who's not going to conform to expectations. He's going to do things his own way, maybe be a rebel, maybe be someone who's independent, and the moment that they're feeling like they don't like the current situation, they're going to hop on their motorcycle or in their car and they're going to take off down the road. So I do feel like it might be in the realm of The Wanderer by Dion or another song like that. Either way, let's give it a listen. This is a cover of Johnny Horton by Teenage Head, and it's Wild One, the first track on their 1980 album, Frantic City. Yeah.
Wild time. Come on, baby, we need a whole lot more. Sing it to the beat of the ball. Come on, we're on a wild road. Yeah, we're on a wild road. We gotta keep it rockin', baby, gotta keep it shaking, baby. Don't let me boss like a real wild time. Go! Come on, cause I'm a wild boy. Well, I'm a wild boy. stop 'cause I'm a wild boy. I'm a wild one. Who gotta keep a shaking, baby, gotta keep a moving, baby. Don't you claim my style, I'm a real wild guy. Don't you feel my style? I'm a real wild time, but I'm a real wild guy. I'm a real wild time, one more time. Wild child!
That's funny. There was like a bit of a false ending there. So yeah, it's what I was predicting. Maybe not assuming, but yes, definitely a late 50s rock and roll style. If you change the voice, you could hear Chuck Berry or Ray Charles doing that one. I love the piano, which again, that was a real fixture along with the saxophone of some of the earliest rock and roll music, along with guitars. And to be fair, the guitars here feel like they're old-time rock and roll, but a couple sections, one in particular, it feels a bit more enhanced. It feels like even a bit bigger. So yeah, definitely playing it, let's say, true to the source material. And I must have heard the original. That the expression or the melody of that title phrase, I've definitely heard that before, but I don't think I've heard this version. So whether it's the Johnny Horton original or maybe a different cover, I do feel like I've heard some version of this song. And yeah, I like the cheekiness. It's a bit tongue-in-cheek. A couple of the vocals toward the end, like having a bit of fun with it, which seems like that might be the case overall with this band. And yeah, I do very much enjoy the energy, which I wonder if sonically this is more or less a direct cover, or whether they upped the tempo or altered it in any way. And yeah, the vocals, like a couple moments where it almost had like a bit of an Elvis sound to it. So again, I don't know if that's affected in the paying homage to Johnny Horton, or whether that's just a bit of, again, tongue-in-cheek sort of embellishment. But yeah, a very fun opener. I enjoy the piano, and I wonder, as I said, whether we'll hear this mixed with some early 80s punk sounds, mixed with maybe what we would now call like more heavy rock or alternative rock. So just curious for this whole deep dive. Thank you again to Yvonne for sharing and for the patience. Luca is going to be ridiculous, so I'm going to wait one moment here. But yes, as I said, I'm going to go through Frantic City, and then I'm going to go through, I think it's Some Kind of Fun. I'll look in a moment. And then, as I said, we'll see what we can do with the original self-titled album from '79. What are you doing? No, don't bite my thumb. No need for that. Okay, let me give a quick check here. So the third album is called, Some Kind of Fun. And then, as I said, that's the third album, that's 1982, and the self-titled one is 1979. And I'm trying to say, so I'm looking at the track listing for the title album, or the self-titled album, and it definitely has a couple tunes that were covered on the Vapids album, including Lucy Potato, Bone Rack. So yeah, I'll look forward to going through that. I think Lucy Potato is one of the tracks that Yvonne sent me from the original album, even if it wasn't the full thing. So either way, I'm excited for this deep dive. It's waited for a long time. Thank you again to Yvonne. Congratulations to Canada for the Four Nations Cup win. Let me know what you think. I will see you next time. Peace.